and welcome to ReCall The Midwife. We are a fan podcast, and every week we watch an episode of Call The Midwife and we talk about it. I'm Becky.
I'm Alex.
I'm Jen. A reminder that this week's episode deals with adoption and fostering and a childhood illness, so if those topics are ones you'd prefer to skip this time, we understand and hope you join us for the next one. In this week's episode, a summertime beach trip for Violet's mayoral celebration turns traumatic when May suffers a water incident, jeopardizing her future with the Turners. Meanwhile, Nurse Crane helps a young mother, Lindy, deliver her baby, only for a rare, devastating cancer diagnosis to impact the family. A lot of other stuff happened too, but that's the short and sweet. Very
That's all we
sweet.
need. We're going to talk about what happened in great detail.
We're going to tell you everything, dear gentle listeners. Just wait.
We've all just watched Bridgerton,
and we've all been talking about it. And honestly, I wish this could just turn into a Bridgerton podcast because I'm so neck deep in it right now.
Oh, but
It
we've got to
can
wait
do
a
after
whole
we finish
month.
Forward.
Oh, yeah. I do want to talk about Call The Midwife.
We've got to wait a whole month for the next installment.
No, we don't have to wait for the whole month for the next installment of Call The Midwife, so let's talk about it.
Yes. This week was a really good episode.
Oh, I was annoyed by I didn't like Lindy.
Lindy,
Oh.
I struggled with Lindy.
I did like Lindy, but at the end, I didn't like Lindy at the start.
No, Lindy. I mean, maybe I'm basing it off Lindy at the start, but I was not a fan of Lindy's.
Well, should we start with Lindy and Melvin then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, the whole theme of this week's episode is child welfare because Cyril has just become a child welfare officer.
Well, also, I quite like the way they were looking at it from social services perspective from two different families. Like you've
Yes.
doctor and your nurse, and then you've got your young, and they were really looked down on, but actually they cope really well. And the doctor and the nurse, they dropped the ball a bit.
Crumbled. I like the fact that they had what you would the family where you expect there to be that sort of intervention, and then the Turners where they kind of feel as if
They're above it.
well, yeah.
But we'll talk about that. So we meet Lindy and Melvin. So we don't meet Melvin yet, but Lindy is unmarried. She's like, I'm Miss Webster when they go to clinic. And we meet them at clinic, and she's already got like a Danielle who's 4, was she?
I got 4 or 5-year-old vibes
Yeah.
from her, yeah.
And she's unmarried, but they've had another baby together, but it's the same dad. And
Mm-hmm.
Phyllis was with her. And Phyllis, she was like, oh, and I bet you mean shot there, Miss Nurse Crane. And she was like, no, I've seen everything here. Do you know what I mean? I've seen everything.
She's like,
Now,
if you
did
think an
you see
unwed
the
mother
scene?
is going to stop me in my tracks, she's like, try
Yeah.
harder, honey.
The silent pupil midwives in the background, they were there talking. I say that
I
in
know.
inverted commas because you can't hear them.
When they drew the names out of the bowl for who was going to go to,
Oh,
oh
the
no, that's
seaside.
not what we're talking about, is it?
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah, but it
not
doesn't
yet.
matter. Even then, when they did that for the beach, those two were like, what a surprise! It wasn't the silent ones who aren't being painted.
Again, never to be seen in this episode ever
Yeah.
again.
So Lindy starts talking to Phyllis about the fact that she's out of wedlock and stuff. And Phyllis is like, you need stability and a chance for both of you to be parents you didn't have. And I thought, you know what, mate? You know literally nothing. She's just told you she's unmarried, and then you're telling her to get married to him. You've not met him. He might be horrendous. Do you know what I mean?
Well, and actually, he kind of was at the beginning. Like, I don't know
Yeah, he
if
was.
I would have been that excited about marrying
Although
him.
very fashionable. I mean, his clothes would look good now.
You guys, I joke with you before we start this podcast. I'm trying not to be like the thirstiest girl on here, but like when he walked in, compared to he's like Matthew level of muscles.
Yeah.
I didn't
I didn't
that
notice
much
his muscles
attention.
either, to be honest. Yeah.
Oh,
I just said yes to try and agree with you, but then I thought I didn't actually notice.
there wasn't a scene where he was shirtless, but there was a scene where he definitely had no sleeves on. I think it was when they got engaged, and it was just like, this is just a more muscled man than we all or hardly ever see on Call the Midwife. I don't know. Also, he was very tall. I don't know. Again,
he's
it's
not
like I
just got
can't
out-
help who I am. These are the things I notice, I pay attention to.
He's not just got out of a bath though, has he, and tried to pull on a wool jumper.
And a pair of jeans and a pair of really stiff
You dirty tart. So So Lindy's then, Lindy's very immature. She's young anyway, super immature. But basically she was saying that she feels more like Danielle's big sister than her mum. But also
Mom, yeah.
the fact that, she grew up in care, a husband, well, not husband, but a boyfriend at the time. He also grew up, he doesn't know anything about his family and all this. So like they're from a background of, I don't want to say unloved because it's not unloved, but you know what I mean? Like they're just from a background that don't really understand about the concept of family so well.
They don't have any parental role models to look to or rely on or to gain any kind of
Much better way of
Yes,
saying it.
Jen. Yes.
Yeah,
You should
exactly.
do a
I mean,
podcast.
I know, I know. Well, I will say, like, no, I won't go into it because it's obviously I can't, but like I've dealt with people in this situation and it really is tough. Like when you have not had any life experience that shows you how to be a good parent or how to be or any life
Just
skill,
how to
honestly.
parent.
Yeah, like unless you make a concerted effort to like understand it on your own and like really make a thoughtful decision about it, then you just end up defaulting to whatever you quote think you should do and you end up with stuff like this where you're just, well, I mean, and the thing is like with sorry, I'm gonna go off for just like one quick second. Lindy was not a bad mom. When you looked at Danielle, she was like, she was clean, she was fed, she was well cared for, they lived in a house, they were doing okay and everything. But again, it was just, you could tell she didn't have any kind of parenting philosophy. Like she didn't have any kind of understanding about being like a mature person. Like, okay, can we like fast forward to the bus?
But
Well,
also, yeah, we can. Well, no, we
well, I
can't.
just want to say this one thing because I think this is part of your point. You
Yeah.
know, when they went to the clinic thing with Sister Veronica, when it was all the families together, and Sister Veronica was like, the concept of play is new to disadvantaged families because she was basically admonishing Danielle for throwing something. And it's like she feels like she has to have the perfect child in front of people because they're older and know better. It's like she doesn't kind of have the confidence in herself.
Mm-hmm.
I think that shows it quite well as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I actually really felt for Lindy in this way because she makes a comment to Phyllis in that scene where they're doing the exam where she says, I thought that, once you had a baby, you would turn into an adult. But now that's when she says, like, I feel like an older sister. And I actually wrote that down in my notes because I feel like there are a lot of things that you start to do in your 20s and 30s where it could be having a baby, but it could be, getting engaged, getting married, buying a house, having a really professional job, moving to a new city, like any number of like kind of like landmark life events where you think, oh, this is going to confer on you like some new sense of maturity and, responsibility and all this kind of stuff like that. And then you kind of realize like at a certain point when you're an adult that like, no, you're still like, yes, it can, but nothing like magically turns you into the grown-ups you always looked up to when you were growing up.
No, it's true. I remember thinking like I was a teen mum at 36. Like it's just
yes, yes.
you just feel like I'm not old enough for this. Like
I
what?
know. We would joke about like, like our girlfriends getting married. It's like, oh my God, a child bride. And it was
Yeah,
like, and we were all in our 30s, like mid 30s, you know what I mean?
it's so true though.
Yeah, yeah. It's so I did feel for her in that way. Like I think, yeah, it made sense to me that she was
So
just like,
yeah,
I don't know
on
what
the
I'm doing.
bus, she was just really immature throwing stuff, and Miss Higgins was like, "Oi."
Well, Miss Higgins
Yeah,
turned
this
around and
is
was like, "What are you doing?" And she said, "Oh, well, he threw it first." And she's like, "I know, but you're an adult." And you could tell she was like, "Nah, like she had this kind of stink face on. I was
She was
like,
just a bit bratty.
yeah.
"Yes, very bratty, very bratty."
But then, oh Christ, I thought when she first, they go to the beach. We'll talk about the beach trip fully. But
Yeah.
when she was, oh my God, I thought, don't have a baby in the sand. That must be the worst thing in the world.
Oh, oh,
No, it's not the worst thing in the world. That fish smokery was the worst place in the
I
world
don't
to have a
know,
baby.
sand all in your crevices while you're having a baby.
oh my
Big good
God. When
vex.
everything's just like hanging out. Ugh.
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
was excited for her. I thought she was going to give birth in a beach hut. I thought, what a lovely place to give birth.
I don't think that would be lovely. Look how bloody windy it was. We'll talk about that later. But thank God Phyllis was driving. And Miss
Uh-huh.
Higgins and Phyllis, oh, thank God, thank God, thank God. I love the fact that they sorted Cub's cover, and I was like worried about Danielle, but there she was in the front of the car, no regard for child safety. And
Well, also, Lindy was really driving me crazy too when she was in the back with Phyllis and she was like, "Can you go fast?" She was saying to Miss Higgins, "Can't you go any faster?" And then Miss Higgins was like, "Okay, yeah, I can." And then she went over a bump and she's like, "Can't you go any slower?" And it was just like Miss
I think
Higgins
they were
was,
just trying to say, because I wondered if it was like an ADHD storyline, because it was like 1 minute she was really, not ADHD, what do I mean? Bipolar. 1 minute she was
oh,
really high, and then the next she was like really angry and down and low. And I thought, are they gonna go here with some? Anyway, they didn't. Driving along, lols to the balloons on the car. They're just driving along like it's a wedding or something. Like it was really funny.
I know, absolutely. Miss Higgins did a great job. She was so patient. Her and
Also,
Phyllis
she
were a
asked
good
for a
tag team.
radio to cope with the pain and was like singing along. And I was like, that's actually brilliant. Well done,
That was
Yeah.
lady.
actually that was a really good shout. I will say I did have a moment when Phyllis was like, "Oh, we're gonna take my car and take her back to the maternity home." When I thought, "Oh no, that was Joyce's ride. Like now she's gonna have to go on the bus." I felt for Joyce because I'd be like, 'cause when she said to Phyllis, like, "Can I please ride with you?" Like, I really don't want to be on that bus. I was like, "Yeah, Joyce, I would also not want to be on the
I
bus."
lolled
Again,
at that.
we'll get there, but it really made me laugh. Yeah.
Oh, I really love Miss Higgins do a paperclip necklace for Danielle as well. It was so sweet.
Oh, that was so cute. That was
So
so
anyway, sorry, they get to the clinic and she's 9 centimeters dilated, right?
yeah. And
Then she's singing through birth.
we still haven't met what's his face yet either.
Melvin.
Melvin, yeah.
So she has a baby girl, and so she's perfect.
Michelle.
Michelle, my shell, because she went
Yeah.
into labour at the seaside, which I really actually did like that as well, Linda.
I thought that was very cute.
I don't care for the name Michelle, but I did love the
Sorry for any Michelle's
thought
listening.
behind it. Yeah, there's a good chance there's lots of Michelle's listening, isn't there?
Danielle and Michelle, Danielle especially, I think are really modern names.
Oh yeah.
Danielle and Michelle. Danielle and Michelle. They both end L.
EWLE, yeah.
I like
Well
the
done,
nickname Shelley.
That's my contribution to the podcast.
These are the kind of scintillating observations you're only gonna get on Recall.
So Melvin, that is not a normal name. That's me, not a modern name. Although to be fair, probably now there's probably loads of baby Melvins now.
Yeah.
This annoyed me. So Lindy says to Phyllis and Miss Higgins to fetch Melvin, and they say he'll be at the Hand and Shears.
Yeah.
And Miss Higgins is like, at this time of day, and she's like, at any time of day.
Mm.
So Melvin then rolls into the surgery with 3 mates in tow. Now, if you were in the pub, I mean, yeah, they've had a few drinks. Who wants to go to a maternity home with your mate?
I mean,
Yeah,
I think
I probably would.
it was
But
very
for
much
them, it was weird.
Yeah, it was very much like, remember the couple that got married and they were at their like hen
Yeah.
they were, no, not,
Yes,
they were at
and
their
then
they were at their
all-
reception and they all came in conga lining like for her to
Yeah.
get her.
Clinic, and you're like, what?
Yeah, and I was like,
It
this
reminded
is
me,
not
have
the
you ever
place.
seen, well, you might not have done, but I really enjoy it on the internet. But like, there's these sketches this guy does on the internet, right? And it's like, what's that film where they're all gangs in New York and they're all singing and clicking?
Yeah.
And they're all like,
What's my story?
West Side Story, and he kind of does grease mash up with jokes about them films. It's like them coming in like, yes, the baby's here, like really overacting. Do you know what I mean? Like just ridiculous. Storms into clinic being like, where's this baby? Like you wouldn't give a damn about your mate's baby. You wouldn't remember the names. Like if I asked my husband the names of my friends' babies, he'd be like,
He'd be like, wait, they had a baby?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like he was obviously a partier, is what they're trying to show there. But instead of like him just being, I think they were trying to show that he was out having a good time and he's nice and friendly, not like an abusive. I think if he came in dead drunk and abusive, I think if he came in dead drunk on his own, I think it was like an abusive thing. Whereas I think they've just tried to show that he's just immature and likes to party.
Yeah, the worst crime of these two is that they just are like teenagers,
Yeah,
they just are like young. They
and
just
like
don't,
Danielle
they just
wets herself and he asks Phyllis to sort it. Like it's obviously something that he doesn't do.
Yeah,
I
well,
think
even
anyone can do that.
even Phyllis says, like everyone who just came in from the pub needs to get out of here, and so they all start to leave, and Phyllis is like, not the father, and it's like he's like, oh, okay, I guess I should stay. Yeah, he just is so not. Yeah, he's not there.
So Dr. Turner and Phyllis. So Phyllis checks her eyes. Dr. Turner is checking baby Michelle's eyes, and he says, "Oh, there's
a set of eyes he's checked, isn't it?"
Yeah, I've never seen him do it before. But he's like, oh, there's a tiny spot right at the back of her eye. Now, Nurse Crane's showing Danielle how to clean her eyes and stuff. And she's like a bit reticent to do it. Like, oh, I don't think I can do that. So again, just shows the immaturity. Like I put here that Lindy's quite infantilized. And I think it's just because they don't know how to do it. They've kind of just
they just want a grown up to do all of this stuff. And it's like, no, you are the grown up. Yeah. I think it's coming from a place of insecurity.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Still, yeah. Like it's not malicious, but she just doesn't feel confident as like a mature adult.
Yeah. So Danielle's eye. So in the meantime, we'll talk about the beach trip. But in the meantime, do you know what? It did really annoy me, Nurse Crane going in the bathroom to get the photos done, but we'll talk about that again as well later. But so she was going through the photos and they saw a photo of Danielle and Lindy. And Danielle's eye was funny on the photo, like it's reflecting light.
So
that's when they also realised there might be a problem with Michelle as well as Danielle.
I really thought it looked like a cataract. I mean, I'm not a doctor, clearly, but that's what I thought
I've only seen it. You know those awful magazines like Love It?
Uh-huh.
I've only ever seen it on that, like, my holiday shot showed my eye cancer. Like, that's literally where I've seen it before, like, with a headline like that.
Oh my God.
So I did think, oh my God, eye cancer. As soon as I saw it, I thought,
you did think that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never even, did not put that
people who are
together.
like news presenters, and then they're like, a viewer rang in and told me I had cancer, and then they had like thyroid cancer or something because they had like a bulging
lump. That happened on Love Island. Yeah. Demi from Love Island, she had a lump. She had thyroid issues. Yeah. So anyway, in the meantime, they're going in for tests, blah, 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 right? Or she's in the maternity home. And Melvin's got Danielle and he's like giving her chocolate for breakfast and stuff, right?
Well, literally, he comes in with Danielle to like Fred and Violet's shop, which, by the way, sorry, we'll get to it again when we talk about the beach, but like chef's kiss on the way the shop is decorated this week. It's just so amazing.
That was good.
But she's like, he's like, oh, we just picking up some breakfast for me and my favorite girl over here. And it's like, what do you want, love? And she's like, oh, a candy bar. And then he's like, yeah, that and a packet of cigarettes. And Violet's like, wait, is that your breakfast? He's like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm a cool dad. Like, no, I'm not a regular dad. I'm a cool
give you
dad.
energy, done it.
Yeah, and Violet's like, Violet has the most amazing look on her face. You could tell she just wants to like reach across and like grab him and just boss him around from, beginning to end. Like she just is like, oh my God, this, like, because Violet, of course, knows everything to do right, and this kid has no idea. So
yeah. So anyway, so now we're going to go to a Dr. Turner moment. So then it goes to Dr. Turner, and he's like, look, Lindy, I think there might be a problem, right? And Lindy says, what sort of problem? And then he says, in a really weirdly exasperated way, I'm not a specialist, Lindy.
I don't freaking know, okay?
Like, it was the way he was like, put it in the drawer, Sheila. I'm not a specialist, Lindy. It was just really...
He was put it in the drawer, Sheila, again with May this episode too. I literally thought that with May. Yeah. Yes, we'll get there, but yes, he was very put it in the drawer this week.
But then he's like, oh, it may be something that affects them both, right? So then they send them to... I'm whipping through this because we've got other stuff to talk about. But the doctor, so when they go to the specialist, and the doctor was at a hospital, the specialist eye doctor, ophthalmologist, ophthalmist, ophthalmist, isn't it?
Optometry.
Oh no, but that's isn't.
I just want to hear you guys go
I mean, this is what ophthalmologist. I still can't do it. Ophthalmologist.
They went to an eye doctor.
Are you talking about ophthalmologist?
It's an ophthalmologist. Thank you.
Oh my God, girls! Wow.
I've had migraines this week, guys. I've honestly got no brain. So anyway, that doctor was so brusque, right? And no one was telling them anything. And I did really feel for them here because obviously they are infantilized. They are kind of feeling like children. But this was reinforcing that. And I really hated that for them.
And I do feel with anybody, like he kept, as they went through the course of the investigations, because obviously first he just looked in their eyes and he would say, so there clearly was something because he was identifying something, but then they had to have more tests and more tests. And I just thought this is really hard because it's obvious that there is something going on, but he just wasn't talking in plain English for them to understand it.
Even I was so glad that Sister Veronica was there because she came in like right before they got called and they were like, why are you here? And she's like, well, I'm just here for some support. And they were like, okay, whatever. But then she went in and the doctor said something about, malignancy, and Sister Veronica was like, okay, can you like explain what that is? And he said, that it was a cancer and everything. And I mean, even if they were way farther along the maturity spectrum, it would have been hard for them to get that news anyway. So, I mean, like the fact that they were young and kind of in that situation, they were at even more of a disadvantage. I was just really glad Sister Veronica was there because otherwise they would have been...
That was brilliant. So at first, Lindy was a bit annoyed that Sister Veronica was there because she thinks social services are trying to take the kids away from her.
Yeah, she immediately goes into defense mode.
Oh, wait, but to be fair, I will say, Sister Veronica kind of was like, they're not good enough for this. They can't do it. She did prejudge them, I think, a bit.
Well, I mean, but okay, so here... Okay, wait, hold on a second. So after they see the ophthalmologist is when Cyril comes in and they talk about, like, about support through, with the child welfare worker and stuff like that, right? Okay, this episode... Okay, I was of many minds about this, and as I was of many minds about a bunch of things this episode. But the thing is, Phyllis had a lot of faith in them that they were going to rise to the challenge. But at the same time, I don't think it was irresponsible or unwarranted to have looked at their track record and also make a different assumption about how they were going to handle the challenge they were facing. So I kind of got both sides of it, and I did get why Veronica was nervous and why she brought Cyril in and why they thought, okay, this is a family that actually needs like more intensive support because maybe they're not really kind of like able to take this on the way that they need to right now. That's what I mean to say.
Well said.
Thank you. And I did like seeing Cyril in his new role.
Yeah. So they're diagnosed with a retinoblastoma, which we've not said this, have we? It's cancer of the retina and it's caused by a genetic defect. So that's why both girls have been affected by it.
And both in their right eye.
Oh yeah, I didn't think of that. So
I'm glad it wasn't both eyes. I'm glad it was not both eyes is what I mean.
Yeah. So Danielle, obviously, because she's older, she has to have her eye removed. And then Michelle, obviously, because they found it from practically, they Dot, she has to have radiotherapy, but they immediately say like we've got concerns about the parents' ability to cope with this, which
Well,
are
to
just
be fair, yeah, like Melvin storms out. They're both absolutely devastated, as you'd expect.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's understandable. Also,
Yeah.
in this day and age, the minute you said anyone gets a diagnosis, all you do is like Google it, look it up. In those days, they just didn't have that information available to them.
I mean, in a way, probably good, but also not good.
Yeah.
But
I'd be
so
so
Lindy
nervous
then,
about a baby having radiotherapy
yeah.
or whatever
But Lindy, it just like ignites something in Lindy. Like this is what makes her step up. She's like, no, we're not losing them. We're gonna get on with it. We're gonna
rise above
step up. And she does. And she's like, foster care was not an option. I'm taking them home. And they were saying the hospitals raised concern for their ability to cope. But Phyllis was then saying they were underestimated.
But did Phyllis, which one of them did Phyllis have a chat with? Because Phyllis said something to one of them.
Phyllis went to bloody, we've got, oh God.
Why? Why are you turning your nose up at that?
Because that annoyed me.
Why?
So hang on. Lindy and Melvin were falling apart, blah, 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 right? So then we meet up with Nurse Crane, who goes up to him at work, right? Now he's working, but he's like there on his work break, and he's like, it's a bit like that whole sketch before, like, oh, I'm not, if the, I'm on my break, but if I want to go on my break, I'll go longer. Like, it was just really annoying. And then
when you're a jet from your first cigarette to your last dying day. Hurrah!
Exactly, right. But she's like, oh, do you love them? Well, of course, then you'll learn you're up to it. You got to dig deep, lad. And I thought, oh, do you know what, mate? He's not going to listen to you, this old woman turning up in a nurse's costume. He's just going to be like, I'm not going to look after those kids. I'll do what I want. Like, just absolutely.
Well, it was like, leave me alone, you old god botherer. She's not a god botherer, but you know what I mean, like that kind of. Yeah. And then conveniently, his boss comes out and is like, Neil, like, or Melvin or whatever, like, time to come in, and he's like, oh, okay, I gotta go in.
What was annoying about it was after his conversation with Lindy, where she was like, either we grow up and concentrate on getting our girls through this, or we fall to pieces. We might not have had choice in our life, but we can choose what kind of parents we're going to be, right?
Yeah.
And she'd already had that was a good conversation from his partner that should have like done something, but then we've seen bloody Nurse Crane be the impetus to get him to actually step up, and I promise things will change, and you're just like, oh, and then he proposed it, and you're just like, that's not caused by her turning up at his bloody work while he was having a petulant break. Do you know what I mean?
Here's the thing, what I think is crazy is Phyllis. And this is a wonderful thing about Phyllis that I love, but she has had this exact speech with a young person who's at the precipice of a major life event about 20 times on this show.
He needs you. Paulette needs you.
Yeah, and it's like, listen, love, me and my mom, we grew up and it was just me and her. We didn't have anything but 2 pennies to scrape together. And I'll tell you what, she fought so hard and I respect her so much. And like, I had to make my way and it is really hard. But like, we found our way through it, love. And like, it's like, and it's just like,
She's not Cockney, just for the record.
I don't know what she was, honestly. I don't know if that was Cockney or whatever. But anyways, it was like,
yeah, it wasn't really.
Like, it was an alien life form. But the thing is, like, it's like, yes, great that you're lifting these people up, but at a certain point, it's like, okay, Phyllis, we get it.
Yeah. So anyway, he stepped up, he proposed. It was a happy family scene. That was lovely, right?
And
then when Danielle.
What did she say about, like, she was telling Phyllis and Miss Higgins about it, but then she said, this is just silver paper, the ring? I didn't get that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways,
But anyway, when Danielle went in for her op just before that, and Lindy sobbed, I sobbed when she sobbed, because it was just so, you can't imagine, like, it's just harrowing.
Yeah.
So Lindy,
absolutely.
so then she had a meeting with Phyllis and Veronica, and they were doing really well, and I was really, really pleased. And they were saying Melvin's taken on more work, they're officially engaged, and then they were like, you should be very proud of yourselves. And like, she was like, we are actually. And then little Danielle in the bed at the end with her eye bandage on, I was just like,
she had one super loose string of like gauze around her face.
That's what happened in 19 whatever it is, right? Is it 1969 or 1970?
Was there a budget crisis? Why'd they give her one string of just like loose?
That's all they had the budget for.
That really set me. I was like, oh, what? It wasn't even a cotton padded. It had nothing in there anymore. I'm not making light of it, but like literally they just, I can't. That was ridiculous. Okay, they did more for like May in terms of like prop dressing for like her illness. Oh, girls. Anyway, okay, but she was okay in the end. And actually, Lindy said that they were gonna fit her with a prosthetic, and she's like, they're actually really good nowadays. Like it was.
And you basically leave them with the knowledge that they're gonna get married, they're gonna have stability, and everything's gonna be great.
Oh, and the dad is not in the pub, and he's working a lot more hours.
Yeah,
and she'll get a prosthetic eye.
Yeah, they said
Yeah.
that that was happening. So,
Yeah. So it's
good on
kind of
her.
like an all is well in a way, like ending, Thank
Shall we
goodness.
talk about Trixie's driving test really quick?
Are we going to talk about Trixie and Matthew overall? Because this
Yes.
one was like sending me to the
But
freaking
right,
moon,
do you
you
remember when we were
guys.
like, oh God, I'm really annoyed by this driving storyline. It's really misogynistic. I think the only reason they really started doing the driving thing was because of his money worries at the end. And then,
Yes.
yeah. So now
Yes.
I exonerate them a little bit because I was a bit like, why are we watching this crap? But actually,
Yeah.
it's because of the whole like getting a car
Because
and
now
stuff.
Trixie's going to keep putting her foot on his
Now,
neck about
right.
money.
So she passes the driving test, great. Matthew then trusts her to drive, like as he should, because she's just bloody passed the driving test, right?
Yeah. And that was
So
really cute and loving. And like, I loved her jacket that she wore, like that yellow coat. It was so great. Sorry.
so she
Anyways.
was driving to the beach as well, right? So they have this like convoy with like
Oh, wait,
balloons.
wait, wait. Before, remember Violet stops them and she's like, "Tee, tee, tee,"
Oh
and
yeah.
like they roll down the window and Trixie's like, "Oh, I just passed my driving test. Like, I'll drive to the beach." Like, haha, like waving the keys. And then Matthew. He's like, yeah, cool, 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 or whatever. And Violet was like, well, that's actually why I wanted to talk to you because
About funding.
we've had some of our, funding opportunities not really come through the way we thought. And, so we've had to kind of solicit some of our generous benefactors. And so I just really wanted to ask you if, you'd be able to like, basically pay for this whole thing. And Matthew was like, well, normally I really would. And then Trixie's like, of course he'd love to. Like, not
Yeah.
even totally just dismissed him when and he was like, and then he had that kind of like cringy smile that we all do. It's like, okay. And then Trixie just gets out of the car, like leaves, doesn't care. And Violet's like, you're a saint among men. And he's like, okay, thanks.
It
Like,
just looks awkward.
and
Right.
he's
So
just like,
anyway, they
ugh.
start driving to the beach. Again, we'll do the beach as a separate thing.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to talk about the fact that he
He's in a pair of
says,
shorts.
stop! Really urgently, right? Urgent. Like he wasn't stressed at all before that, but suddenly he sees a phone box and he's like, stop! And then he basically went to speak to Mr. Richards on the phone urgently. It's like, why didn't you do that before you went, or why didn't you delay the trip? Because
But
do you know what I mean?
also, this is what. Yes, that was insane to me because I was like, isn't it Saturday? Isn't it like 2 o'clock in the afternoon? Why all of a sudden it occurred to you that you have to talk to your stockbroker right now? Like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you have this conversation in the morning before you left, or like yesterday, or like
Also,
Well, is it because he was in America?
or like if he had? Oh, actually, I didn't even think about that. I don't know. I didn't think about a time difference. I thought it was somebody in the same country.
no, because he says that he's a stockbroker,
Yeah.
but the markets wouldn't be open on a Saturday.
I mean, I assumed this all was a Saturday. Like, it just was crazy. I was like, why wouldn't you have handled this business like prior? It was a very like I know why they were doing it for the show, but it felt so
It was ridiculous.
Shoehorned in
I
there.
think
It was really crazy.
the reason they've done it is because they're just trying to show that Matthew is in desperate times, isn't he?
Yeah. But also it really irritated me that
100%.
Yeah, but it also really irritated me that he had that reaction, like, oh, pull over here. And she's like, well, you could have said stop in a nicer way or something like that. And then he's like, okay, I gotta go make a phone call. So he goes and he's sweating, like his brow is so furrowed, like he seems stressed. And she's just like, is everything
And Trixie's
okay?
like, la 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 la.
Yeah, and she's
It is. She's just sat there like.
Well, yeah, because
Also-
he says like, oh, I had to talk to a stockbroker, and then she's like, oh, okay, well, anyways, like, boop, 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 and it's just like, honey, like, you don't think we need a follow-up question? It really, like, she just was so blinders on this whole time. Oh,
Also, she wants a sunbeam in.
She does.
well, yeah, because she said, I want a car to match my nails.
Matthew's beach outfit could have passed for a modern day outfit.
I loved it. You
True.
look great.
You don't want to be thirsty.
I know. But the thing is, like, I really try not to comment on him because it's like I know it's too much. But the thing is, he looked like a 1969 Ken doll. The terry cloth shirt, and then the shorts, and then the boat shoes, and then like he even had like a jacket at one point that he had put over it because you could tell it was like a really cold, windy day on the beach in Britain. And it was just like he really looked like he was dressed out of like just a catalog. I mean, it was wild. Anyways,
I feel like we should tell our listeners about Jenn's weekend experience of getting a lift to and from work.
Girls. Okay, I'll just say this. So
just give them the highlights.
Yeah, so I had a work obligation over the weekend where I had to work overnight.
We can succinctly say this, Jen. She got a lift there and back from really hot firemen.
Yes, I did.
That basically, in a nutshell.
They were super charming. One of them held the door open for me, and I do believe that they were all married. So unfortunately, I struck out. But
would they have bought you a sunbeam in?
I've never been so invested in Jenn's travel to work.
Neither have I. It's never like this normally.
So yeah, so she says she's been to the car showroom on her own and she wants the Sunbeam Imp, and he's like, that's really expensive. And she's like, yeah, but I'm worth it, kind of thing. But again, like not listening to him at all, not noticing on his
Yeah,
face
but
that he's like so stressed.
he has created this situation for himself.
He has, but at the same time, he's also put it off, hasn't he? Do you know what I mean? He's not done it with her yet.
What
Girls,
you can see with Matthew is that he's somebody who's never had to say no when somebody's wanted something or asked something of it.
Well, also then she said about the preschool, and he was, private preschool, and he was like, this is expensive. And she was like, it's more time for us. It's better than a nanny, and it's sociable, which is, she's looking into what's good for Chauncey.
It is true that it's better than a nanny and it's sociable for him. I didn't like when she said it's more time for us.
Yeah, that was weird. But then
well, that was
it's
what she
unnecessary
led with,
expense shipping my son off. And she was like, your son. And then Matthew was just really weirdly detached. Now, I kind of feel like...
I thought he was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean it that way.
No, he was weirdly detached. He was like, and he was just there on the side all the time. And I'd have been like, are you all right, Matthew? Like, but she did say that to him. And he's like, you've already said a word to me, but you're desperate to spend more nights here. And then at the end...
no, that was a different scene.
Yeah, that was afterwards. Scene...
Yeah.
But then Matthew was just at the table getting more and more stressed, and like she just didn't seem to really notice really, really stressed.
Wait, hold on. So just for my clarification. So the scene where she talks about the boarding school, she's getting ready to go to work and he says, my son. And then she says, wait a minute, what the heck? And so they talk about it. And then she's like, well, anyway, like, and he says, like, I'll think about it, or like, let's see what we can think about or whatever.
It was still quite monosyllabic and evasive.
Yeah, he was definitely. But she was like, okay. She's like, well, listen, I'll see you in 2 days. Like, I'm going. Like, she clicks her suitcase closed and then leaves. So then cut to he's at his desk at their house, literally like with this massive ledger like open, and he's looking like super stressed, like staring
more
at the number.
Upset and stressed.
Yeah, he was like he again like the like comedy like sweat like was coming off of his brow.
Like GCSE dramas. If you were acting stressed, that would be it.
Yes, and then she walks up in her, like house negligee or whatever it is, and he immediately like with a bang like slams the ledger shut before she can like get over to like see what he's looking at. And she's like, she want me home, but like you're not even spending time with me, and like what's going on here and everything. And he's just like, oh, I don't know, I'm upset. He didn't even say I'm upset. He's like, I'm just working. I don't know, I've got a lot on my mind, or like very vague, like you said, like very kind of like whatever. And he's like, I'll begin in a minute, like I'll come in, whatever. And she's like, okay, well, anyways, I'll see you in there. And then she leaves, and yeah, I don't know. It's a frustrating lack of communication between the two of them right now.
That's literally what I was just about to say. You just want them to communicate.
100%. For people who have had such difficult life situations and complications to navigate as a couple, to be this inept at being able to confront this with each other is kind of almost shocking in a way. Yeah, I think personally.
100%.
Yeah. So I just want to say one more thing about the Trixie and Matthew stuff. And I actually would like not to say as much that like ask you girls and then maybe have like a short discussion about it. What do you think about the financial dynamics of this marriage? Because I find myself feeling like many different things. And there's a scene at the end of the episode after Trixie and Matthew have like quote not talked about it, where Jaunty is on the sofa playing, and then Matthew's at his desk again, like looking really worried, and Trixie's walking by and she's like kiss him on the cheek, and then she's got like 3 very deluxe shopping bags, so you can tell she's been out like shopping again. What are your thoughts on her just waltzing into, like, not waltzing into the marriage, but like getting engaged to him, and then all of a sudden just everything's just like a blank check for her?
I think it's very of the time, and also I feel like he's given the impression that that's okay.
I feel like this as well, like he's created that dynamic.
She's been an independent woman who's earned her own thing and had her own, she was on her own, wasn't she? I know she lived at Nonata's house, but it was still her finances that she was managing. She's managed on a very low wage for a long time. So she understands about money management and stuff. So I don't think if he'd said to her, we don't do this, I feel like she's been given free rein.
She's almost come into it like she's new money. Do you know what I mean? Like she's all of a sudden she's got all of this money available to her, but he, from the moment he met her, he's just been flashing his cash, and like it's like when we're going to come to it, but Violet asks for a contribution towards the beach day, and Trixie doesn't even like he's done that all along.
So she just assumes, I think,
and I just think he's set up this dynamic where she doesn't think twice about what they're spending money on,
because he never has. And I'm going to say this, Jen, I'm not blaming her, I'm blaming him. Let's just blame the man.
Yeah. Because, and this is what annoys me most, is that I think if he came to her earlier, I think she would have been a lot more understanding of it.
Well, spoiler alert, when it all does happen, she's like, we've got my wage, we can live off that. Point being, she is. So I think it's just, this is a creation of his by not telling her the situation.
Oh, I do agree, but at the same time, I guess there's a couple things that just kind of rub me the wrong way about it because I know it's 1969, so I know there's still a lot of like super traditional patriarchal things in place in terms of men and women and finances and even just like gender roles and all that kind of stuff like that. And he has been, Matthew has always been historically like super, super generous. I guess what I just find a little bit frustrating, and this could be me kind of projecting because just like with Lucille and Cyril, like I kind of know what's coming. But I also just feel like Trixie did not marry Matthew like as a young woman. Like I think in the show, I think she's in her 30s at getting married. And I think that she's worked and been a career woman for a long time. She's earned her own money. She's really had a very restricted budget for a long, long time. And I do think he's been very permissive and very generous and very open and everything like that. But then at the same time, like when we saw this with the tiara, it kind of frustrated me as well. Like the fact that she's just like, well, I get a tiara. Like I want a tiara. Like, where's your tiara? Like to the point where he felt enough pressure that he had to go out and buy the tiara or somehow get it back so that she could wear it on her wedding, even though then she said,
I
"Oh,
agree to an extent, but obviously they're only doing it to show the fact that he's going broke anyway. Do you know what I mean? I don't think she would actually do that.
I do think it's a plot device. Yeah, I do think it's a plot device. I don't know. I guess it just kind of frustrates me a little bit because I thought she would be slightly different than how it is. I don't know. It feels to me, and I don't normally feel this way about Trixie, especially like in a long time since we've met her, but it feels very superficial. And it feels.
I will say she has always had that side to her with her auntie who's a couturier, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like she gets an allowance.
Like she's just acting like he has like a million billion pounds, and it's like, oh, I know you said not to, but I went shopping and I saw this car, and it's called a Sunrise Imp, and it's just ever so lovely, and it's like, and then she just, I don't know, it's a side of her that I don't like.
Thing.
No,
I know it's a plot thing, but I don't like it. I don't like it.
But he did say about getting her a sports car.
Yeah, a little red sports car. And that's the image that he's sold to her, that there is just millions of pounds, that they never have to worry about money.
I do get that. I guess it's just hard.
I blame the man, Jen.
I mean, listen,
I'm the patriarchy, Jen.
I'm very happy to blame men for anything and everything if I possibly can.
Well, too then.
I guess what's hard for me is that knowing the kind of work that she does, knowing the kind of clients that she serves, knowing her life experiences, age, maturity, all that kind of stuff like that, it just feels a little bit, to me, somewhat frustratingly out of sync with who I think she is as a person at this point. And
but again, it's like the whole Phyllis being against pay rises. Like it's just a plot device.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Okay, I've said my piece. Thank you for letting me voice my opinion.
Shall we talk about the beach excursion?
Yes.
The mayor's beach excursion. Violet's first as mayor.
Okay, you guys, how far away is this beach? I could not get a grip on this.
So they've gone to Norfolk.
And they've gone to Norfolk.
Oh, have they? I thought they would go to like Margate in Kent or something.
We don't know where they've gone.
We've gone to a beach, guys.
Do you think it's like an hour away?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, how? I don't know. It felt like just a big undertaking.
No. Do you think an hour in those days? I think 2.
Well, either way, there was enough time for Phyllis and Miss Higgins to get back and let her give the baby at the maternity home. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
So poor Fred's being put to work.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, going around. She's literally got so many of these flyers to everyone. She's like, all are welcome, but spaces are limited. It's like, you've literally got a coach, mate. I don't know why you've got thousands of things when there's like 30 people getting on a coach.
Do you know what got me though? Because
well, famously, Poplar only has about 50 residents. Yeah. That's all we ever see.
So they say about the beach day when Danielle Webster, no, it's Danielle Jones because she's got her dad's surname, goes to the daycare play centre setup.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of feels like it's a day for underprivileged kids.
Yeah, but they still went into the laundry and gave it to everyone there as well.
But what I didn't get is why Dr. Turner's kids were going.
Well, they have like 30% of the show's children, so they have to go. Yeah, they had
but I was just like, Dr. Turner can afford to just take them to the beach for the day.
They literally could just take him any weekend.
Well,
Yeah.
also, like, why aren't there any? The only people that they've got the Cubs, they've got the current mother who's expecting going on this thing. Like, there's no.
Like, how much space was there actually realistically with the clubs on the bus anyway? And
Okay.
Nurse Highland and like Nurse Highland didn't use a space, but obviously Rosalind and Cyril were. Also, can I just say about this bloody bus? What is it about Heidi Thomas and buses and romance? Barbara and Tom had their romance with loads of kids being sick around them. What is it about buses and Heidi Thomas? Did she meet Stephen McGann on a bus? Like, what is going on there?
She's got a soft spot. She thinks
It's the
super
way
cutie.
Rosalind says so earnestly, sick duty was my forte.
Oh, girls, the way she was flirting
That
with
was
Cyril
lols.
was like
Talking at him.
You know, okay, so this morning I listened to our season 13 episode 1 episode while I was like getting my breakfast ready and stuff like that. And it was the part where we were talking about how Rosalind being introduced as a character and everything, and I was saying like she's so awkward and like doesn't really know how to know friends, and you were like, "No, I love her." Like, Al, you were saying this. You know, I didn't get any of this, and I was like, "Okay, you know, fair point. We all have our different perspectives." But to me, like the way that she was trying to like talk to Cyril / flirt or God knows what, I was just like, this is proving my point so well. Like,
Yeah, but I think I see myself in it because I just talk and talk.
that's literally what I said in episode 1. I
Yeah.
was like, I deeply relate to
Yeah,
Rosalind
but I
because
think I just
No,
love
I
myself,
feel like
Jen. You need to love yourself more.
This is what you would be like if you were talking to Cyril, Jen.
She wouldn't.
Yes,
She wouldn't be
this
able
is
to get
why
any
I
words out. She'd just be staring at him.
Well, that's what I mean is that I wish I could have seen this. I wish they'd written a scene where you could find out how they came to be sitting next to each other, because that would have absolutely made me like cackle as well.
I mean,
But
I think we all know she just engineered it. So
well, yeah, like he was sat there and then she was like, "Oh, can I sit here?" And he was like, "Of course," because he's like so nice. But then she's holding the sick bucket and like just talking and talking and talking. And the look on his face is so priceless because he's so nice and he's just like, "Uh-huh, mm-hmm, uh-huh."
there's a kid literally shouting for you behind.
And he's like, "I'm gonna be sick." And then like all the other like people around are like, "Sick, sick, sick." And she's just not getting it until someone like, and I just was like,
I like the way she's
"Oh
bragging
my
about how good
God."
she is while everyone's like, get up, do it.
I know. I thought she was not gonna catch it in time, but thank God she does.
Can we just, I know we have kind of touched on this, but I just want to talk about the scene where it was surprise, surprise, it's Nurse Highland and Nurse Clifford picked, not the mutes at the table.
Right.
You just
Yes,
like literally, they didn't even say anything in that scene. I was like, this is just comical. Just don't include them. Don't even reference them. Why have we got other pupil midwives if they're not even allowed to bloody talk? Also, the changing capes of the Turners, right? I think there's been 2 reasons for that. Number one, they're like, oh, there were changing capes in those days, and they probably wanted to show them off. But number two, it was so bloody windy. It was bleak. The weather on that beach. I think
they all needed
they could have like
parkas to be able
thermals
to-
underneath.
Yes. I think that was I think they were really outside, and I think they were filming that in like March, and it was genuinely really cold. Yeah.
Poor Rosalind, bare legs.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I wanted to mention this. Did we notice what she was wearing, though? How they changed her color scheme? She had that beautiful green cardigan, that adorable green, like not blue and multicolored, like striped mini dress. She looked so good in that. Like, she does have great legs.
I've got some form of disability where I don't see what people are wearing. Like, I've just got no like. I've just not got an eye for any of this. You're always dead good at this. And like, oh, look at her makeup, the way she wore her hair. I genuinely am like, Like my husband does it when we're watching something. He's like, God, the photography on this is amazing, isn't it? And I'm like, cinematography or whatever. And I'm like, you what? Like, I'm just so stupid when it comes to visual stuff. Like, I'm into the words and the story and that. But anything that you look, I'm just genuinely, honestly, I think I might have, honestly.
That's the thing. Like, we all have different things that we notice, and that's what's so good about it.
This is worrying.
Did you notice Violet was wearing that huge, massive, like, I don't even know what it's called, but that jewelry thing that goes around?
I did notice that. A Merrill chain, yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It made me laugh that she'd worn that to the beach.
But it must have been absolutely, and Fred did comment, but it must absolutely have been freezing. Like, Miss Higgins was there with a cup of tea, and I thought, I bet she's bloody got actual tea in that because it was freezing. Yeah. She had a coat on everything. I just thought, I bet they've all got thermals on under that. Poor May, right? So she's got a changing cape on.
Oh, May she's got short.
No, yeah. not poor May, because May got pulled out of it.
She had a swimming costume underneath. I thought, May, that is traumatic. She'll have PTSD from that wind. But then bloody hell, May, what are you doing?
Cyril, so I'm not
May's old enough. How old do we think May is now? 8?
10?
maybe you're older. Yeah, she's older. She's around the same age as my Bobs. Now, my Bobs is very risk averse and would not go on a lilo
Oh my
on a
God,
beach
yeah.
on a still day, let alone
Can
on
I
her
just say,
own on a winter.
This
I can't believe they had Lilos or Lidos or
Lilos.
Lilos.
Lilos back then. I don't know why. I think of that as like such a modern thing to
You
have,
could
but
see what was going to happen immediately.
oh
Well, I'm not
yeah.
being funny, guys, but in that wind, she'd be in bloody France in about 3 minutes.
Well, I loved how like in the in the start when she goes out, she's so far from land. Literally, like there's a shot where they like cut like to look back over her shoulder, and she's like a mile out to sea. And then Joyce and Cyril are gonna save her, and it's like she's 20 yards out. You know
Yeah,
what
but
I
it's
mean?
the way Joyce is like nonchalantly smoking. They're all shouting her. Joyce is like 3 meters away from her. She's like, "Oh my God, May!"
Well,
And it's like,
also
how have you not noticed? She's just there. Oh, just have a lovely chat, smoke while they're all shouting her name, screaming.
well,
And
but also
May's there flailing. It was harrowing, but also comical all at the same time.
it was, and to that point, like what made me laugh too is that Sheila was like, "Where are the girls?" And Patrick's like, "I have no freaking clue. I haven't been paying attention all day." And then she's like, "Oh my God!" And so then Angela comes up and she's like, "Mummy!" And then she's like, "Where's May?" And she's like, "She's in the sea." And then literally both Dr. Turner and Sheila are running down the beach looking forward and not at the ocean at all. I'm like, you guys are on a small patch
Thing
of
is though,
sand
Jen,
here. Like,
can I
just
just
look
say,
out to the. She's the only one swimming.
if that
There's
was my
no one else
mum
in the
and I
water.
was Angela, right? If that was my mum and I was Angela, she'd be like, "What the bloody hell have you let her go on the sea for?" Like, I'd be told off straight away. Whereabouts, all this. They just
Oh my
literally
God.
threw Angela to the side and then started blindly looking for her, right? Now, Jen, I want to
Yeah.
speak to you about this scene, right? So
Yes.
Joyce goes into the water, all this,
Yeah.
and
So
Cyril
heroic.
into action. Cyril
Oh,
into action.
girls.
Jen, is
Girls.
this your favourite scene you've ever seen ever?
Girls.
It would have been better without his top off, obviously.
Oh my
Without his
God.
top off, sorry.
When he ran out of that ocean holding that child,
Now,
it did something to me.
Don't want to be thirsty, yeah?
Okay, can I just say though, on a slightly, I'm attempting to be more serious note here. This is like probably the 5th time he saved someone's life on the show. Actively
Why
saved
you
someone's
love
life. Remember when he and Matthew were like help the man who
It's not
had a
even that
mental
long
health.
ago. It's like 5 episodes ago. I got stabbed.
Yeah, he went in there, he like confronted the guy with a knife, like the guy who was getting his house condemned, he like saved his life basically.
Done it loads, Jen. He's basically a big hero. I mean, that's why you love him.
I know.
Just-
He's Captain America to me.
Now, so
Captain
Doctor,
Britain to me.
so Cyril's got May, right? And then Dr. Turner is like just standing there,
well, there's
shouting.
just a row of adults just watching.
Yeah, but he's like shouts at him to be quick. You're like, you go bloody running and get her, you dickhead. Like,
Now,
and then-
can I just say,
Also, wait, I love how Joyce was like, "Stop flailing! You're gonna take us both out."
no, but that's what happens, Jen. People
know.
panic.
I know it does, but then
3
Cyril had to
meters
come
from
and
the
save
coast.
them.
Just
Then
put your legs
Cyril-
down, May.
Well, that's the thing. At one point, it looked like Cyril was like, it was like, is he just gonna stand up and then? What?
Sheila's acting, guys, screaming like guttural, crying. Oh God.
Oh God, it's serious, but I just can't. I can't really feel like it. It was just not. It was serious, but also not serious.
Well, anyway, they get her down. He's like, "Put her
Poor
down here!
May.
Hurry up, guys! I'm waiting about a mile away from the."
Even though I've never cared about my child today, any other point except for now, absolutely at all.
They get her breathing. She's got all this water coming out of there, and then she's sobbing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, it's your own bloody fault, May, right?" Then,
Yeah.
so Dr. Turner's like, "We can't dwell on what ifs." You kind of should, really.
This is like really negligent parenting, honestly.
But then she comes to them. So this is when they're home and everything's fine. They're all back, right? They don't show the journey home because that would have just been them all like crying. So
Like looking so worn out and like the souls have left their eyes. Yeah.
So she says she's got a bad chest, and Dr. Turner's just like, it's all clear. This coughing strain, like,
Well,
just
before anything else, he literally goes, "I diagnosed too many iced buns."
I diagnose common sense.
Well, and May's just sitting there like,
What would
"But
your
Dad,"
bird say?
like, and Sheila's just like, "Oh, what do you think?" And he's just like, "Oh, too many ice buns, love." And then May's like, "No, but my chest really hurts." And he's like, "Oh, you're fine." Anyways, like, and just, I mean, he does put the stethoscope on her, but it's like so cursory, and it's just like, oh my God.
Well, she gets worse, and she looks like she's been bloody dug up the next day,
Yes,
right?
she looks
Dr.
bad.
Turner's at the hospital.
I knew it was going to be secondary drowning.
Did
You
you?
did.
Because you watched this
Yeah.
episode before.
No, I've seen it on telly before.
So you have watched
seen
it
this episode
before.
Oh, I have seen this episode before.
So she's lying there listless, like her lips are blue.
Thank
She's
God the
grey
good
and
Dr.
pallid.
Turner is really at home and actually can do a diagnosis.
So yeah, Dr. Tim. So yeah, because actual Dr. Turner at this point is in the maternity home looking at the eyes of Michelle.
He's like not paying
So to
attention.
be fair,
at
he is
all.
being useful, but just not to his actual family. So Dr. Tim's like, she's got a rattly chest with laboured breathing, and he says it's water aspiration, get to hospital ASAP because he's seen it before.
Yeah.
So
by the way,
called
Dr.
Turner
being useful but not to his actual family is like the tagline of the show. That's exactly what sums up the show. Yeah.
Well, yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
Why are men? So
Why are men?
they call Dr. Turner and he runs out the surgery, right? Now, they get to the hospital. Now, he gets to the hospital at the same time as Sheila, who's called an ambulance, gets to the hospital. They get there literally at the same time. I'm like, wow, is it next door? And Sheila immediately turns to prayer, it makes sense. She's next month.
Wait, you guys, though, I both loved and hated this because the way that she was praying was so crazy. I was glad that she turned to her faith and it made sense, but she had her hands clasped together in front of her face. She was like, "Oh dear Lord," blah, 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 blah. Like it was so OTT praying. Anyway.
Well, she was OTT praying because this was an OTT situation that needed it. And Dr. Turner was like, I'm going to spring into action and be a doctor. And she's like, I need you to stay here. You aren't the doctor in this situation any more than I am a nurse. And we are just May's parents. Like, it was just like sobbing acting. And I thought, well, it's a bloody good job. It's a good job you're not May's parents and not the bloody doctor or nurse, because you just bloody failed to notice that she was really poorly. Also, can I just say the doctor was called Dr. Denzel Kerrigan. Sorry,
yes,
Kerrigan. I was like, oh my God, that's a really exciting, weird name for the time.
Dr. Denzel, yes.
Yeah.
So
then it was water aspiration confirmed, as Dr. Tim had said.
And then Bex already knew, so.
Then bloody Dr. Turner's like, it's a form of partial drowning. Well, if you know bloody about it, why the hell didn't you think about it before?
Yeah. Why didn't it occur to you?
Don't get me started.
And they were saying that her lungs are struggling to function. He's like, how did I miss this, Sheila? And you're like, well, yeah, how did you?
Well, it was another, like, put it in the drawer, May,
Yeah.
He just was like, oh, you're being annoying. Anyways, like, just stop eating so many sweets, love. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, it was very male, dismissive of female pain scene.
I think he was just thinking about those ice buns. But then
he was like, I'm tired. I don't want to be a parent anymore. I'm done for the day.
I was worried about her because she did look really ill. But then, thank God.
I was very serious and it was scary. Yeah.
Thank God. Because then Dr. Kerrigan was like, there's every evidence that May's responded well to treatment and then she was being discharged because they can go to good care from the doctor and a nurse at home. So that was
Dr. being Tim, not Dr. Turner.
Yeah. So then they're all at home and they're all like, more bloody ice buns, because that's what you need. And Miss Williams comes round because May's outside with the rabbit, wasn't she? To be fair, I will say that was very realistic because my Bob's, all she does when she comes home is just try and hold the bloody cats constantly.
Yeah. But how good an actor was that rabbit?
Bex, you're exactly right, though. The largest rabbit on Earth.
Yeah.
That rabbit was massive. That rabbit was as big as May.
It was. I mean, they do have giant rabbit. I don't think it's supposed to be a giant rabbit.
But the way Miss Williams was like, this is not a social visit.
Yeah.
Sheila immediately freaked out.
I will say this, though. This is protocol for foster kids. Like, they must have realised they were going to be getting a visit.
Yeah. I think they should have realized they were getting a visit. Absolutely. Even when Sheila's like, well, what should we do now? And she's like, well, I'm going to go write a report and, I'll call you. And and Sheila was like, oh, okay. Like,
but then, there was another scene where when the phone went and Dr. Turner answered, he's like, Turner residence, everything's fine now. We're all really happy. And he's like, a meeting about May, but we've had a visit. And it's like, well, yeah, because obviously
this is a follow-up.
This is what happens. This is the protocol.
Yeah.
And he was like, we've got a meeting about May in Mrs. Williams' office. And I will say, what I did think was weird was like the way she was like, oh, Miss Tang's got questions. We're just trying to get a clear picture. And I thought, so well and good. Like, I get that the team of the Hong Kong adoption team and everything are all got questions because obviously you do need to be thorough in these kind of situations. But the way they're like, Miss Tang has questions, I thought my daughter would be more safe with them, not less. It's like, I'll tell you what, mate, you were on drugs when you had her, so shut up. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I know, but do you not think in this situation, like, it doesn't.
I'm not making light of that. It's just the way you said it. Sorry.
Well, it just annoyed me. Like,
Go ahead, Beck, sorry.
May could be removed to an environment to which her mother has more confidence. Well, hang on, mate. Your mother, the mother was taking drugs when she was with. That's why she was taken over in the first place. So hang on, we'll do it from a foster. I totally get it from the Hong Kong adoption. You need to look into every avenue, but don't just say it's just from the bloody mum who was neglectful in the first place.
Well, and also like Dr. Turner they were like, oh well, there was that incident where something else happened, like with her foot, like she fell in a slut.
Wasn't it?
And he was like, well, that was 2 years ago, and I was like, do you know? I mean, like. Kids get hurt all the time, and it's nobody's fault.
And I stitched it myself.
It's like, well, that's actually maybe not the vote of confidence we really wanted right now. Yeah. But I just was like, kids get hurt all the time. Like, everyone acts like kids are these, like, just precious little porcelain dolls. It's like, how many times do children, like, constantly fall down, bang their head? Like, again, absolutely abuse and neglect is 100% real, and I'm not minimizing that in any way, but I'm like, there's a difference between that and like two loving foster parents who are genuinely doing their best, and kids also are just gonna have certain things at times. You know, like I mean,
going out onto a line like, beach is pretty
well,
high wind on your own is pretty bad.
That was definitely they did not pay attention the way they should have, for sure.
But so in 3 months' time, a decision will be made, and Sheila's sobbing with Sister Julianne, and I really like the way that she went to Sister Julianne, because obviously last week, Sister Julianne went to her. Like, I like the fact that they're really good support, and she was like, you know, what if they take May away from us? And Sister Julianne was like, they won't, you know, you're great parents, blah blah blah. And then Sheila, they have a scene with Dr. Turner and Sheila where Sheila's like got a photo of May in this dress, right? You know, the dress that she's in. And Dr. Turner is like, this will basically annoy her because you've changed the dress. Will she notice?
This is just more proof that, like, you're not doing it the way that she wants her to be done, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, God. I will say, like, this, I had a lot of mixed emotions with this whole storyline, though, because I found myself both understanding why the foster care thing got kicked into overdrive, but then also feeling like frustrated on like Dr. Turner and Sheila's behalf about micromanaging in a way their parenting. And then I kind of was wondering, like, how long is this arrangement going to go on for? I mean, they've had May now for, I mean, let's say she's 8 or 9, so now like 6 years. I mean, it's been a long time since they've been taking care of her.
Which is why it annoyed me, the Miss Tang thing. Like, you've literally not been looking after her, and then she's allowed this massive decision. I get it from the adoption, they're worried, but it just annoyed me the way she suddenly got this opinion when she's not been alive for 6 years. That's why it annoyed me.
Absolutely. And I just thought, like,
she sent the wrong bloody size dress.
Right. I mean, I've not understood, and again, I could totally be corrected on this, but I've just not understood if a child is removed from a parent's care for, you know, like, I just don't know exactly how much the parent themselves gets to, like, really make all the decisions about where the child is and goes and does and whatever, like that,
especially in the first place.
Especially if there's not really a plan for, like, reunification or whatever like that. Like, I could understand more, I don't know. Anyways, we don't have to get in the weeds of it, but, like, I just was like, I do think, actually, is this the season, are they in the process of kind of adopting May? Is that something that's coming up? Sorry, spoiler alert, but like, okay, because I just was like, how long can this go on? Like, at a certain point, you know, like, because there's not really any, at least that I understand, there's not really an opportunity for a reunification. So I kind of am like, if this is going to be a permanent removal, like, this child is in limbo, and like, that's got to be hard for May too, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like she's been in limbo for such a long time, though. Like, it is difficult because it doesn't give her a sense of security.
Yeah.
Yeah, she keeps telling everybody, like, I love the Turners, they're my family. Like, you know, every time we have one of these storyline comes up, she, like, May keeps, like,
give me a rabbit every time I have an injury.
Yeah, exactly. I just get more and more ice buns. I don't even know what to do with myself. Yeah. But it kind of resolves. I mean, you know,
well, we're just kind of in limbo for 3 months because they've got a decision in 3 months. So
right. So they'll bring this up in the season finale, I think, is what's going to happen.
Can we talk about Nancy saying she has sand in places she never knew existed? Right? Loads. And
when Joy says to her, like, why don't you use the outside bathroom? And she was like, are you freaking kidding me?
I'm not being funny. Nurse Kramer's like, oh, I just need to do my photos for... Why the F? Didn't Nurse Crane use the outside bathroom?
I mean, my guess is she just can't control the light. Because, like, you have to have the red light bulb.
Fair. Okay, but that's really annoying. I'm just like, do it after everyone has gone to the toilet. Like, why did you need to do it right there and then? That was just that. I can't tell you how annoyed that annoyed me.
And why did she have to do it in the bathroom?
But also, why is she developing all of her own film? I don't think we've ever seen her do that before.
No, we haven't. Of course, we haven't. And also, like, do you know where I thought she should have gone? Do you remember when Jimmy stayed in the little room where the chickens were by
Oh,
the
the boiler
kitchen?
room.
The boiler
Yeah,
Because
room.
why did she do it there?
I've seen people develop photos before, and all you need is trays of water or whatever.
Well, the chemicals.
She doesn't need it running water.
No, you don't. You just need an enclosed space. The thing is, I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna try to make myself sound like so whatever here. But I took a photography class in high school, and we developed our
Oh,
own
I took a
film.
photography class in high
I know.
school.
That's exactly why I preface this by saying like, whatever.
No,
But
I don't think that really needed it. Like, that's totally fine to take a photography class in high school. Like, it's not this big la-di-da thing you think it is.
but the, but the thing is that like it's a really
Sorry, I don't know why. That's not that big a deal, Jen. I'm kind of a big deal. I took photography class in high school.
Oh, it's been a hard day, you guys. Just be kind to me for 1 minute. Okay. Anyways, so in this incredibly posh high school photography class that I took that was incredibly exclusive and like really fancy.
I mean, you must be a handful of people in the world who've done
I
it.
went to an exclusive education institution and it was wonderful. But the point is that like there's a lot of like really serious chemicals that you have to use to develop a photo, and there's all this process and you have to do things all this certain type of way and everything like that, and like the amount that Phyllis I just think would not have the infrastructure for that. I'm like, just take it and get them developed at the store. I don't know, I just was like, this is so silly that it felt like a completely unnecessary.
You would have thought she would have done it in the clinical room.
Yeah.
That would have been a way better place to do it. Way better.
It just annoyed me. But also, the Gazette are using Phyllis's pictures, so it's a good job she did them early. And you're just like, what is this? And I thought they were going to use those pictures against them and be like, doctor's child gets in ambulance. Do you know what I mean?
Like happened to me.
See, I thought, oh, that's right. I thought the whole point was that Phyllis, that she developed herself. I thought that the whole point of why they had Phyllis develop the photos herself was because she wanted to be able to second guess what was going on with Danielle, because she says like, oh, maybe I just made a mistake with developing the photo, and that's why she's got the thing in her eyeball.
That actually makes more sense, but that shows you've taken a photography course. You know what you're talking about.
It's my significant experience and expertise with photography that lets me understand those kind of concepts. You guys, okay, get it?
Do you remember when we were at uni and we would take our cameras on nights out, and then people would go and collect the photos because we had to put the film in to be developed.
Yep.
And then people would come back to the kitchen with like photos, and it would be like, oh, it's the photos from last week. And
that was so fun though, you guys. Okay.
Let me tell you something though, guys. Not once did I ever get anything developed or take any photos.
You never did?
No, I saw them all. It was great. Yeah, but I never once did that. I was not a responsible person to do that.
So did you guys ever have this trend in the US? This was like, what time period? This was like, I want to say late 90s, like early 2000s. There was like a trend with weddings where the bride and groom on the reception tables would all put disposable cameras, and then the guests were supposed to take pictures like all throughout the whole night. Yeah. And then in addition to all the professional photography, they would do that. And then you know. And,
I think we had that. I think we've had that at a few weddings we've all been to.
I think we did. I think we did. I mean, I feel a bit nostalgic for it. I miss that. I wish we would kind of go back to
started doing it again, Jen.
Yeah, I think it's really fun. I miss that kind of photography. I think it's actually quite good.
And really bougie people.
And I am a photography expert, so I feel that my opinion is really important on this.
Yeah.
So.
Really bougie people do it with like the instant photos.
Oh, like the Polaroids?
Yeah. Polaroids. Yeah. Do you know what, actually? I went to my cousin's. My cousin got married in June, and they had like this photo booth thing that hardly anyone went to, apparently, apart from me, my husband, and my daughter. And they printed out these pictures for us. They're really cute. There's a gorgeous picture of me and Bob's, and there's one of my husband looking horrendous. He hates it, but it's funny.
Well, one of my friends, her husband, but when they were just dating, the photo booth trend again was another big like wedding thing where everyone was doing photo booths at their wedding, and he did a photo booth business for a while, and he's had a lot of careers, but anyways, yeah.
To be fair, that again, photo booths are still quite a big thing. Like it's normally just automatic and stuff now, but yeah. Has anyone else got anything else to say about this episode? Should we do
heroes? A lot happened.
Should we do heroes and zeros?
Yeah, sorry, that was a very vague, like
I've got one note that I've not discussed. You know, when May was in hospital and the family sat down with a plate where there's one custard cream each.
Yeah.
And then they were like, there's one biscuit left. It's May's. I would have absolutely snaffled that biscuit.
There's not a cat's chance in hell them kids weren't scrapping over that.
Yeah, Angela was like, well, more for me anyways.
I'd have literally just like put it straight in my mouth.
She's like, sorry, my sister's sick, but anyways, like, you know, you snooze, you lose.
Right, heroes and zeros.
My 0 is going to be Dr. Turner and Sheila's lack of attention at the beach.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've given a child a Lido, you've put them in swimwear, and you're not watching them.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then my hero is going to be Joyce for the nonchalant way she saved her life.
It was amazing. Right, my 0, there's loads more deserving zeros than this, but I can't tell you how much it irked me. It's Phyllis for you hogging the bathroom to do the photos.
And that really cheesy conversation she had with Melville.
Ugh.
Melvin.
Yeah. You can do it, boy. You can do it, lad. I'm not doing it.
I'll do it if I want to do it.
I'm just taking a break on my thing out. If they tell me to go in, I don't think I'm going to go in. Like, it was just awful. Then my hero is going to be, I'll leave you to the other one. Mine's going to be Lindy. Actually, I'm Lindy and Melvin for stepping up after that raucous speech or whatever it is, rousing speech. No, but Lindy and Melvin really did step up, so good on them.
Yes, I agree.
Who's
Okay.
your hero going to be, Jen?
Well,
she's doing a 0 first.
As you know, I always do my 0 first. My 0 is going to be Trixie. I know it's maybe not fair, but I don't know. I'm just bummed on her right now. Like, this episode, I didn't love it. I felt like, yeah, not my fave right now. But I get there's complicated dynamics. Anyways, and then of course my hero is of course going to be the very chalant way that Cyril saved May from the ocean, because while Joyce was casually saving May and then also telling
With a fag in her mouth.
And then telling May, like, don't pull me down with you, love. Like, Cyril ran in and just, again, he's just saved so many people's lives. I'm never.
You know what? If I was Cyril and Dr. Turner was shouting at me to hurry up, I'd like throw her down.
I'll be like, well, why don't you save your own daggone kid?
Also,
like,
an extra 0 for the doctors. I think, like, the consultants who just literally were just talking over them. It happens all the time. They talk at them. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, anyway, I think that bunny was so funny. That bunny really made me laugh.
Hero for the bunny. They've been massive.
The bunny was just so big. Like, the bunny weighs like 45 pounds.
I mean, it weighed more than
so
May.
here's the thing. When I was watching it, like, they cut to May, but I could only see like something white and fluffy. I couldn't really tell what she was holding. And I was like, is that a dog? Is that but she was outside, so I thought, okay, maybe that's and then they cut to
Is it nothing?
Is it nothing? But then they cut to it and I could see it was a real bunny. And I literally said to my mom, I was like, that is the biggest bunny I have seen ever. Like, it was massive. Yes. Anyway, I don't know. That bunny was like a toddler. I don't know why.
We might
I can't get over it. But
we might see more of the bunny next week. So next week we will seamless. Next week we will be watching series 13, episode 6. If you'd like to watch along and listen along, so you know what we're on about, that would be fantastic. And we'll see you next week. In the meantime, also leave any comments, ask us questions, recallthemidwife@gmail.com, recallthemidwifepodcast@gmail.com, and obviously our Facebook, Blue Sky, X, Instagram, all them. We've got all of it.
YouTube,
Threads. Yeah, we've got YouTube. We can't see our faces on there, luckily for you. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.